Hey guys, how's it going? So you can see we got the Chevelle in the background. I got my A-arms over there, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I'll cut to it. We got full front suspension removal, and so I'll start getting that cleaned up. About ready to get cleaned up in the shop here. It's about 11, but figured I'd make a video because I wanted to say why I'm making this project. So let's get into it. So, if any of you watched my first video, I'm 17 and I'm building this 1966 Chevelle, and pretty much front to back. Not a frame off type restoration, but more so just going through it, getting work on body panels and all that, building engines. And not that I haven't done that before, but this is my first V8 that I've ever built, so yeah, pretty cool. But and I'll throw up a clip of that running, but it's been definitely an experience, and I think hopefully this video doesn't devolve into just me rambling, but I would like to shed light on why I chose to build a car, and especially at this age, and not just because it's cool, but you know, actually what my goals are, but also why other kids my age, I believe, should get into buying projects, and pretty much just everybody. So to start off with a story, about probably a year and a half, almost 2 years now, I started getting really into projects and project cars specifically. 60s is my preferred era, but I got into it and I bought my first small block 350, and that led me to where we are at today. But basically, I don't know if you guys can see over here with this rag covering it. There you go. Right there. That's a small block 350 that I had built, and actually was finished and running a couple months before I ever bought the car. But that was really a learning experience to me, and it showed me, because like when you buy an engine, it's nice and small. Basically all you need is to work on a little old small blocks, old toolkit, and that's pretty much it. Just an engine stand, get it good to go. But that taught me, or more showed me, that is what I want to do, and I really am passionate about working on projects and all that. So that's what got me started. And then I think I figured that, or finished that, sorry. I think I finished that in late July, and then got that running. And then after that, about September-ish, something like that, maybe a month after that, you know, whatever, not to get into specifics, but around there, that's when I bought the car, and I got it from a real nice guy. And in its current shape, he painted it orange, which was, in my opinion, a dumbass decision. I don't know why he did that, but the whole thing was this Chevy orange color. And you can see so far the visuals, I've done this trunk rear quarters here, the 80% panels, and those are 80% because this piece here that connects to the roof is not included on the quarter panel. But I couldn't tell you for the life of me why he decided to paint that, because it wasn't ready. You know, it really needed a lot of work. For example, just on these rear quarters, these parts right here, if I can find it on the camera, right here, were all rusted out up to, I don't know, about 6-8 inches. You can see about up here, there's a body line that comes in right here, and about that body line, a little bit above it down, was just rotted out. And then above here in the wheel well, that was all rotted out, and it still is a little bit. Like I said, this isn't going to be a perfect project, no frame off or anything, but basically what I've done to the inside of those wheel wells is I've gone in there, put a panel in, so the 80%'s cut out the old stuff, and then the 80%'s kind of sandwich in to a panel that I have in there, and then that gets welded to the old stuff, the old inner wheel well. So that's how that works. So general stuff like that. I really wanted this project not only because it was cheap, but also because it wasn't completely gone. The frame's actually in really good shape, but because the trunk needed patches, the floor pan needed patches, and the rear quarters. And I thought like that was a nice project to get into, because often people starting with project cars, they say, oh, get a good project that you're not going to have to throw yourself into too much. But I really want that experience, and I think that's why it's so great, is because I'm lucky to have the machine availability. You can see over there we got that welder, that old miller, and then we also got, you know, a couple. I'm gonna make some videos on it here, but we got a collection of SA200s in front of me. Actually, that's what my phone's sitting on right now. But I'm just really lucky to be able to do that. And so if you don't have that, you can buy a project. I know there's a lot of second-gen Camaros right now that you can get for pretty cheap, and stuff like that. If you like 70s, those look pretty nice. Trans Ams, 79 to 81, I believe, is the late second-gen style, and those are, you can pick a great one of those up for $5-6 grand, you know, which is definitely equivalent to what I put into the project right now, if not less. But I really like this project because it needs a lot, you know, but it doesn't need enough that it's unsavable for my current skill set. Everything that I've seen or that I've had to do, I've seen on YouTube videos or learned from my dad, and that's all, you know, you can pick that up pretty easily. It's not too hard, you know, but if you want to get into that, it's great learning. So going into the second part, why would I recommend other people, and specifically other teens, to get a project car? One is you learn trade experience. We're seeing a lot now, especially with all the AI shit. I'm not going to get into my opinions on any of that, but basically that's going to be stealing jobs here. You already see a lot of people are being affected, putting out of the job. People like bankers, AI is replacing them, people that code, all that stuff, you know, and it'll soon affect a lot more. One thing that it ain't going to affect for a long while at least is people in the trades. Welders, though, there's a lot of people online that don't know what they're talking about, saying welders are going to get replaced. They see these robots that can sit on the pipe and run around it and TIG, and that's real impressive until you get some robot that's got to run a structural, you know, overhead or vertical up or anything other than basic flat weld. Can't really do, you know. So stuff like that, and I'm apprenticing right now to be a diesel technician, but stuff like that, it ain't gonna be replaced. And a lot of kids we're seeing now want to get into that. All these trade schools and weld schools are popping up, and it's really good to get kids in there. But a lot of people, you know, they just don't know anything. And a project car like this, you know, you get experience welding, putting together engines, you know, building, you're wrenching out in the garage. It's good time to have, especially if you have a dad that he's into that kind of stuff, you know, good bonding and all that. But it's just real good experience. And so the culture is dying, and a lot of kids my age, you know, a lot of kids are, I would say, car people or car enthusiasts, not car guys, because they're people that are into cars. They like seeing cars online, watching their reels about, oh, that's a fancy car right there, you know, when they don't see the work that got put into it. And frankly, they don't want to put it themselves. And, you know, I made a short about this a while ago, but I said, if you pay somebody to build your car, you're a guy into cars, not a car guy. And I think that's just the truth, you know. Now I love people getting into it, and if that's spending a bunch of money to have somebody build it for you, more power to you, you know. And sometimes I wish I was in that same scenario when I'm stuck under the car doing something I really just don't want to do it. But, you know, then I think of the big picture, and it's like, you know, this is what I want to do. I'm in it for the long run, because the final product's just gonna, you know, that's what I love. So you just have to put yourself in that mindset. And I think getting back to the main theme now. So I think teens should get into that. And if you're listening to this, if any people my age are watching this, get you a car. You know, try and convince your parents, or if you move out and you can get a car, and nothing that needs any work, just a classic. Put some hours into it, swap a carb on it, valve covers, customize it to your own. You know, you don't need to do a frame off repair or anything close to what I'm doing. You just need to buy a car, start wrenching on it. I mean, that's pretty much all I can tell you. But that's why I think we need more people getting into the cars, because it'll just, it's where we're going. We're going to more trades now, and you know, that's just what I think. What I think would be best, and I've seen a lot of people online, and you know, I just spent 5 minutes or whatever telling you how the car culture was dying, but I've seen a lot of people on Instagram that have YouTube that have the same opinions of me, and we need more people to do it. And you know, I think people are starting to wake up, because there's a lot of videos and media being output that is saying the same, saying the same sentiment as me, is we need more people into this culture because it's dying out. You know, you have all the people into the old gen muscle, and they're all dying. You know, and we need other kids that are into that. Quick intermission because the train's rolling through. Alrighty guys, all cleaned up in the shop. I'm about to close up, but I just wanted to tell you all thank you so much for watching. And I know this was more of a rant style video. I didn't really say anything informative, but for all those who are watching to the end, I would seriously consider getting into a project. I just think it's such an amazing thing, and it's a great thing to do. So for all you considering it, yeah, I'd take a serious look about it. I'd sleep on it and pull that trigger, because you won't regret it. But that's it. So thank you all for watching, and thanks for, I think we're at 140 subs now, 130. So thank you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.